Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. Okay, so this set that I have here that I bought, it actually has online instructions that you can find if you want to build it with the instructions yourself. You just have to type in www.setbricks.com and then enter the code at the bottom, which is A2173 on one side and then 85263 on the other. It also has an area where you have to verify that you're human by typing in the weird squiggly words. Or you can scan this for the PDF. So you can actually build this with me if you have extra Lego bricks or are a person who has like a bin. If you want to. That's actually why this set is really cool to me and why I really wanted to build it for you guys and show you. It is a crow. Crows are my spirit animal. I love crows. They're one of my favorite animals. These are regular sized Lego bricks too. They're not the minis. They're not the big ones. They're regular size. This was extremely cheap online. So if you want the exact Legos and stuff, I will also state you're allowed to get replacement pieces if you contact the manufacturer. Isn't that so cool? So this set is not only really cool, but it also gives you options. So when I say that I genuinely wanted to show you guys this set, despite the lack of people voting for it, that is why. It is a lot cooler than you think. Nobody voted for it because it didn't have a cool photo, but those are the things that are the coolest items whenever I post a poll. Is the things that look the most inconspicuously like entertaining or nice are usually going to be the more entertaining items or the cooler items. It doesn't tell me like what parts would be in what bag, so I think it just wants me to dump them all out, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. I am going to keep the instructions on screen while I'm building it. Usually I just put it in front of me and it's hard to see, but since it's on my computer, my tablet, it's really easy to see and follow along with. I love crows. They're very intelligent animals. And one of the funniest things about crows is they're actually enemies with owls, which is one of the reasons I don't like owls. And if I ever got a falconry license, it would be just so I could own a crow. Because I love crows, but I don't love owls. Gotta find another one of these pieces. Since it makes you just dump Legos out, it is a little bit harder to find the pieces, since you can't do it like a bag at a time, which is what I don't like about some Lego sets, but that's fine. It's still a good set, even if it has its own difficulties. Hmm. Okay, it's not many pieces. Okay. So just some of the pieces are just different. This one, it has the bumps upwards. If there's anything that being poor does is makes you get really creative in order to survive. Um because the amount of recipes that you can find that are cheap and really delicious, you just have to look on like poor people talk type things and like Great Depression meals. Sure, they're not like the most delicious, but like they're one, affordable, and two, great considering you don't get the best ingredients. You can make good food out of anything. And honestly, I think it's a great test to see whether a chef is actually good at cooking is if they use cheap ingredients and can still make something that's quite edible and delicious. I used to have to make food for my grandmother when she was unable to move or get up, and she had like after a surgery that she had. I had to disinfect it and cook and clean and water her plants. And she was surprised to figure out, wait, you can cook? You just choose not to? Why? Um, I don't know. I just never did. And then my brother saw me make meatloaf and he was like, wait, you can cook? It's like, I always have. I was like, I don't believe that. I was like, oh well. I never used to cook in front of people because I only really cook for me. But I also never had access to the food to cook it. So it was just me being like, well, I guess I just won't eat today. Because nobody would take me shopping. How I cook is I will go to my fridge, I will pick out 3 random items, and then make it work. And you might think, wow, that's really weird. Why do you do it like that? Um, I don't want to think about what I'm eating. I just want to eat when I'm hungry. Which, yeah, I get it. Some people have to have it like extremely planned out. But that made me starve myself, and so I started removing food rigidity by just randomizing it and learning how to cook to my tastes. So I do have only a few meals I will still like approve no matter what, but necessarily it makes it easier. One Piece. I only have to look at gray pieces. That is actually how I'm making it so that it's easier to find pieces. But since there's so many more black pieces than any other color, it takes me a little bit longer. Something's wrong down here. I missed a piece. Okay. Yeah, it wants me to use the darker gray pieces. And a blue piece. Okay. Now, blue piece. Blue piece. Gray. How would a person without an oven cook a turkey? I'm so glad there's like dollar store like foods and stuff and Thanksgivings for people. For those who don't have access to an oven, which is actually something my ex didn't have access to, was an oven, which means I had to get creative and figure out ways to like, hey, you can cook this and this instead, and this is like an affordable type of food. But the fact that I even had to like come up with something like that because they didn't have access to an oven made me incredibly like sad for people who just don't have them. I'm so thankful I have an oven in my house. Like, sure, I might have to deal with shitty family members, but at least I have an oven. I have a stovetop. Something that I was always brought up in my comments is that some people try to push something onto me because they think there's like no reason behind it other than trying to look cool. I don't dye my hair to look cool. I don't do it for that reason. I dye it because it makes me feel like I can be myself. It was my form of rebellion against my grandmother and my mother. I cut my hair short because my mother was like, "You're not allowed to cut your hair short. You'll look like a boy." Who cares if I do? Only she did. Um, it was my form of rebellion against my oppressors. Not everyone is gonna dye their hair, and I love natural hair. I think it's gorgeous on people. But also, people should not just assume why a person does something. Which is why when they were like, well, I don't feel pressured to dye my hair. And I'm like, good for you. I am not you. Good for you. Which was a really passive-aggressive way to answer. I get it. But, I am not you. And you are not me. We will all have different struggles, and there's only so much we can do as people to try to relate or understand others and what they're going through. Hmm. There's so many of steps. Um, it wasn't. I didn't answer that way because I was angry at the person, though. But more of out of like, okay, you don't understand where I'm coming from and my life, but the fact that you're not being understanding at all is a problem in itself. Um, and the fact that don't just assume things isn't a good enough answer to why a person might be away or act away or think away is baffling to me. I never assume a person's anger is towards me inherently. Anything. Um, it's not curved. I'm looking for like a wide curve. It's trying to tell me to look for a very particular piece shape. It's like a 4x4 looking piece, but it's not. Why can't I find it? I can't find it. I can't find it. What the fuck? Did like I accidentally use it on a different area? No. Well, that clears it. That I didn't use it accidentally. I'm pretty good at I Spy games, but it looks like it's this piece, but it's not. Because it's like it curves. But this piece does not curve. I don't know. I'm just gonna use that piece because it looks good enough. Yeah, it looks flat, so it's good enough. Yeah, that piece still does not fit. It is not the right piece. Because it's meant to lay flatly on it, and it doesn't. It's meant to be like this, but diagonal. Hmm. Yeah, this piece is wrong, but oh well. I can't fix it. I have no replacements. They just gave me the wrong piece. That means both sides of the bird are gonna be wrong. And yeah, I did go quiet for a while just to look for one singular piece to see if I did something wrong or if I did not look hard enough. I did. And if you guys look through every piece, you'll notice that it's missing too, and that this is the wrong piece. Something to think about in this world is that so many people. Did I do it on the wrong side? Oops. This kind of looks like a car. Vroom vroom. Something I did was learn how to do acrylic nails and gel nails just so I wouldn't have to go to a salon. And I will state that the salons around me are still cheap enough for the average person. You can dish out a cheaper price for a basic acrylic set, but they're also going to be thick as hell. You might break a nail, and they're always going to cut your nails, even if they're long and beautiful like this. Why would I do that to myself when I have nice nails? Sure, I keep this hand short, but that's because I do work. I have a job. Why can't I put it this way? Damn it. This looks wrong. Okay. Well, I have to end the video here. Peace, love, have a good day, my fab fans, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!